Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Is this thing on? I can't believe it. Somebody pinch me. Ladies and gentlemen, what is going on? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to the land of the gray. Into the fray we shall go in X-Plane 12, sitting at the ramp here in ORD in a United 737-800, looking mighty fine. A level up V2 is in the house. We were flying the level up a couple weeks ago. It was a couple months ago by now, not a couple weeks ago, before when I was trying to get some NG practice in. It has since gone over a large update. Got some pretty cool little new feature sets or some new sound tweaks, some little engine vibrations, some new texturing. So we're going to take it for a spin today. We're going to go from Chicago O'Hare up to Syracuse, New York. You might be thinking, why on earth would you fly Syracuse, New York? That's super mid. Well, the plan is to fly into some nasty weather. Half-mile viz, light snow, heavy snow showers forecasted to blow in here. And we'll be setting up for the ILS Cat 2 special authorization there in Syracuse, New York. So that is the plan. It's going to be all gray anyway, so we might as well fly above the gray and not look at the non-ortho down below. But here we are, ready to rock and roll. Thank you for the Boomer Pack. Shout out to my X-Plane fanatics that never give up. Gustavo and AJ Fernari, who always seem to finagle me into flying this sim. So you guys did help me out, though, with getting everything set up. Appreciate you. AJ coming off the bat there with a $3 super chat. Man goes X-Plane and his timer music ending in sync. You know what, AJ? I did that just for you, my man. Did it just for you. Thought you'd like that. Thank you for the $3 super chat. We're ready to rock and roll here on the ramp at ORD. Oh, look at that beautiful American Bare Metal. Ha! We are on Iveo Platinum today, so we'll have that ready to rock and roll as well. So that is pretty cool to see some American Bare Metal. You know, there's 3 liveries out for the U.S. as of the last time I checked. There was United and 2 American gray liveries. I don't see any Astrojet or anything yet. So we're going to rock the United because we've been flying the paying off those American liveries. And let's fly the friendly skies, shall we? XP72 is in the house. My man, good to see you. I'm in your favorite sim, dude. I'm in your favorite sim and your favorite airplane. But here's the thing. It's okay, XP, that, you know, Boeing is your favorite because guess what? It's my favorite now too, my man. So I appreciate you stopping by. Hope all is well, man. Hope they're not working you too hard over the New Year's. Hope you have a wonderful New Year's Eve. Shout out XP72 in the house. We got a lot of people here. I'm going to skip most of the shout outs, so I do apologize for that. Thank you all. Tutko says, what's up, V1? Only going to monitor this mid-plane 12 stream on the side while I continue flying the Bonanza around Brazil. Listen, T-Tut Company, if this stream goes well, maybe we should do a little... here's the thing. I have an itch for a long haul. Y'all, I have an itch for a long haul. I don't know if I want to fly the 748. I don't know if I want to fly the Felis or the MD-11 and X-Plane 12 on Aveo Platinum. So I really want to go to Brazil, though. Here's the thing. I want to go to Brazil. I want to fly into Sao Paulo, right, over the city. But I don't know what day we're going to do that or what airplane to fly. Anyway. Enough with that. Do I have issues with the sounds? Do you guys have issues? The only issue I had with sounds was my wing view in climb is in and out. It's kind of weird. Maybe you guys can assist. But anyway, let's get this airplane fired up. We've been testing all these airplanes, the PMDG, the iFly Max, and now the Level Up wants to play and be a competitor in the 737NG market. Let's put it to the test. So we're going to test a couple things that we've been testing. We'll test the STS system. We'll test the trim. We'll test the APU auto gen trip, because why not? Actually, spoiler alert, we won't do that because it doesn't work. I already tested it, and it's kind of a pain because I have to disconnect and reconnect my yoke. So spoiler alert, APU auto gen pickup doesn't work correctly. It shows the gen off lights. So, but we'll test everything else that we can. We'll test the auto. I don't know if we can test the auto slats because we're on Iveo Platinum. So we'll see. But we'll definitely take a look at some stuff on the ground. And then going into Syracuse with the HUD should be pretty cool. So... enough of that. Let's go ahead and rock and roll. X-Plane 12. Look at this cockpit, guys. Come on, right? Come on. Look at the overhead. Don't look at the overhead. Look at here. Look at here. It's, you know, I've seen worse, right? It's pretty it's not bad by any means, right? I actually think it looks pretty dang good. We've got some pretty sharp textures in here. I don't know. And as the sun begins to fade, hopefully, we're real time. It's 4:10 perfect. As the sun begins to fade, that'll actually juice it up. X-Plane 12. I gotta hand it to you. X-Plane 12. Sunset to sunrise is when you need to fly X-Plane 12. The night lighting. I thought Microsoft 2024 was superior in Sim Update 4. It's close, but airport operations and reflections still go to X-Plane 12. When you fly X-Plane 12 at night and you see the runway with light reflections off you, it's pretty daggone good. So it's still got that going for it. T-Tut Company, thank you for the $5 super chat. Says Felis is juice and only reason for X-Plane 12, but don't forget the 777 whiskey with Boris for long haul option if you want the sim to look good. Well, that's true, but I was thinking for Aveo Platinum reasons, maybe you wanted X-Plane 12, Tutco. That's what I'm thinking. We'll see though. Let's go ahead and get the airplane booted up. We're going to do our power on procedure that we always do. So actually, no, we're not. We're going to come into the cockpit here. Right, we're going to come in here. We're going to take a look at our stuff, our circuit breakers. We'd hang our little jacket. We take a look at the fire extinguisher, make sure we have the required documents and everything on board. And then we notice that there's no power to the aircraft, so we'll turn the battery switch on. Standby power is closed and guarded. Alternate flaps closed and guarded. Electric hydraulics off. We'll clear the master caution. We have 3 green lights. We'll go ahead and now connect ground power. And we'll go ahead and let the airplane boot up here. Fila 742 Charler flight from SXM to Brazil. Ooh, St. Martin to Brazil aviation, dude. Not a bad idea. Not a bad idea, my man. Not a bad idea. So I have track real world sim time. 30, 12, no, 16. No, I'll tell you what, we'll leave it because it's 4:12 here. So by the time we get off the ground.
Traffic American 2190 turning left base for the ILS 27 Center O'Hare.
Wow, that was loud. We're going to turn that down. All right. We'll let the time go real time so we can watch the sun. We'll fly into the sunset together. I just some night ops, airport ops is always pretty nice. But is there an option to change this to the old panel? Is that in the options? You guys let me know if it is. Let me make sure my nav data is up to date. It is up to date. Sim update, Sim App Pro works perfectly with WinWing. We got the WinWing FMC, and we also have the WinWing EFIS, not EFIS, autopilot panel. Check in the EFB. That's what I was looking for. Let's go Avitab tablet, no. Customize configured display variants. Oh, you know what? It's under displays, Chrono, PFD. Nope. Nope, so it's not under there. It's under systems. HUD for Captain. RAS off. MCP. MCP panel. Done. Beautiful. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. All right, cool. And then we're going to go ahead and start flight leg. And we're going to go ahead and get the rest of our overhead flow done. So let's get our flows in first. All right, we do have the right panel. Yes, we do. Look at that. Absolutely beautiful. All right, overhead flow. We're going to take it left to right. It's not part of our test, but I like to test that. Pretty cool. We got the ELT switch up here, which is closed and armed. That looks good. We got the IRS into nav. On DC, should flash. We'll put this heading STS modes. Beautiful, that looks good. Dome light is off. We've got 3 green lights. Oxygen, we'll do the oxygen test. That's at 100. So, we got that, man. Oh, here, traffic is loud. We gotta turn them down. All right, we'll turn that down a little bit. All right, cool. Oxygen check. Those are closed. EEC switches are on. Flight recorder off. Illumine light. We'll do the Mach airspeed. Stall warning 1. We need 4 minutes possibly to power the stall warning test. Okay, cool. So we'll come back and check that if I remember. So that's all set. We'll come down here. We'll take a look at the oil quantity. We've got 18 quarts. That looks good. Coming down from there, we'll make sure the park brake is set, which it is. I got to get used to my key bindings again. And we'll take a look at the... We'll take a look at the missing texture there, but that is the emergency gear extension. Beautiful. With that completed, we'll continue our overhead flow. Yaw damper will come on. We got low pressure lights. The yaw damper light will extinguish. Navigation display switches are normal. We got the blue dim lights on. Fuel panel is set. Throw this on the ground power. APU is off, right? Yes, it is. Ground power is set. Cabin utility IFE switches are on. We're on ground power. Off bus lights illume. Emergency exit lights armed. Seatbelts, no smoking is off. That looks good. We'll get the window heats on. 1, 2, 3, 4. Probe heats can stay off. Electric hydraulics off. CVR test, not modeled. Does not function. Ding. Coming back up to the right-hand side here. Everything looks good. Trim air, voice recorder, trim air should be on. It's pretty freaking cold in here. Bleed panel is set, and we'll have to set this. Oh, this was a state saving, it looks like. Got the logo light on and the position light on steady, because I actually had that. I was messing around with that earlier, so it looks like it saved that from my previous flight. Coming across the EFIS here, we'll throw up terrain mode on this side. The altimeter here in O'Hare is 3010, I believe. 3007. We'll set that. Missed my magic barrel ref key. 3007 is set. Pull this up. We're going to run you up to 880. Up. Really need that EFIS. EFIS, where are you at? 880. In the barrow is set. Flight director, auto throttle. Flight director is up on both sides. That all checks out. We'll come back to this here. I'm just going to zero these out. We'll leave that at 99. That's fine. We'll zero that out. 199 is set. Coming across the right-hand side, we'll leave it as is. Nose wheel steering switch. Closed, guarded. Test lights. There we go. Tapes and 8s. They're all there. Beautiful. Back to bright. That's fine. Fuel flow, we'll go rate and reset back to rate. Clear the master caution. RTO on the auto brakes. Coming back around this side, we'll turn on the FOs panel a little bit because we do like FOs around here. We've got the Jip Whiz down there. I'll put you in FMC legs page. We'll come back to all this. Fire test. Fault, APU detect. Beautiful. Lights up. 1, 2, 3. That checks. We should get a master caution as well, but I can't remember how to... Do I move my mouse at the same time? Yep. There's the overheat detect light. Beautiful. We'll do the bottles. Left. Bottles. Right. Cargo fire light. Wonderful. We got COM 1. Radios are set as required. We'll just squawk 2000 right now. We're going to need to put some backlighting on this panel here. Background panel lighting there. We got HUD set, primary IMC. That checks. Zeroed out. Stab trim switch is closed. Override. Door lock is lock fail. Does this actually work? We'll have to test it when we close the door. All right. Wonderful. Overhead flow is completed. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw you into the WinWing programming camera, but I'm also going to go pause and knit. Next page, GPS left, previous page. And I need to go to fuel weight and balance. Payload, takeoff, performance, payload. And if I remember right, actually no, how did I do it from... Airside services? Hold on. I did it earlier. I was messing around with it. Ground services. Fuel weight and balance. Airside services not active. Okay, here we go. Let's go ahead and get this programmed in here, and then this will be real timing. So passengers are going to be 160. Cargo weight today is... what is our cargo? 8,800. Zero fuel weight. Total fuel for today's flight, 14,285. Let's round that up to 15,000. Enter, and then we will load. Right? And I think... Oh, do I have to do it again? What do I do? 160. 8,800. 15,000. Activate. There we go. Activate. Beautiful. Done. Very confusing EFB, but that's going to start loading. That's going to bring the jet bridge over. There we go. Drew's Dexel 5103. Welcome in, man. Ooh, look at that. US Airways 757. Chat. We haven't seen one of those in a long time. Bluebird, when? You're teasing me. You're teasing me. All right. we have to program on our own here because I don't believe it pulls in from SimBrief, which is totally fine. We'll practice some old school programming. We're going to be O'Hare to Syracuse, SYR. And for departure, we'll plan ILS 22, or excuse me, we'll plan departure 22 left for departure. So departure arrival, departure O'Hare, 22 left. Back to the route page. And then from there, let me swipe over to my flight plan. Going direct to eBake. Wismo. From Wismo posts, interesting flight plan, no airways, courtesy of SimBrief. Patty, you can hear them opening the doors and doing some loading in the back, which is pretty cool. I like that. SVM and DKK. SVM, DKK. And then direct to KSYR. So we'll activate that, execute, go back to departure arrival. For Syracuse, we are planning the ILS runway 28. It's going to be a Cat 2. We'll take it off of Stoda. We'll execute that. All right, perf init page. We'll leave it as is. Our flight plan altitude is 370. So we'll put 370 in the cruise. And let me look at my fuel reserve. Reserve fuel is 2.184. We'll round up 2.2 plus 4 kids is 2.6. Cost index on the flight plan is 31. I'm using my real world EFB on the side over here. So, I mean, I figure you guys have seen enough flight plans. You don't need to see another flight plan in front of you. All right, we're going to plan fuel for 15,000. 15,000 is on board and active, so that looks good. We can go ahead and put the seatbelt sign on. We'll get the fuel tank pumps on. We're going to start the APU here in a minute. Let's set our flight cruise altitude 370. Landing elevation in Syracuse. Runway touchdown zone elevation is 413 feet. So we'll scroll in, we'll round up 450. All right, 450 is set on the overhead. And with our fueling complete, let's set up a couple other things. We'll be heading off the ground of 220. Let me verify that. O'Hare, runway heading 22 is actually, excuse me, 225? Yeah, 225 is the heading off the ground. So we will be heading off the ground. 225 with no ATC on the line. We're going to set, we'll just set our cruise altitude up to flight level 370. Takes a long time to scroll this and explain. Well, that guy sounds very, very serious. All right, 370 is set. 370, 225. We'll set course line 225 as well. We'll practice like we fly. Oh, if you have it on the FMS, you can put O'Hare Syracuse 01 on the co-route. Oh, Oscar Rays, you're right. You know what? I remember doing that. That's okay. It's good. Sometimes it's good practice to just do the whole flight plan. But yeah, Oscar Rays is right. You put the departure destination 01 on the co-route and it pulls it in. That's, yeah, Oscar. I've totally forgot, man. But thank you. We'll have to do that for the next time. All right, 225, 370. We can't do VNAV yet or anything like that, but that is set. Let's go ahead and fire up the APU. We'll take a listen. Is it Mirror's X-Plane graphics looking better? It's getting there. It's getting there. Low light is the best. I don't know why we got this twitchiness going on here. Oh, I think it's because my hydraulic pumps are off. Iceman on 37.7. Joe Plains, what's up, my man? That's pretty dang good. All right, we'll get the chrono on. We need 3 minutes for that, but we can go ahead and put the APU on bus. Oh, no, we can't. Hang tight there. All right, APU is on bus. That checks out. Maybe I should put these on dim. Let me see. Yeah, we'll run them on dim for right now. That looks good. All right, so we are just waiting on. We're 103.8. We haven't started boarding yet, though. There's our passengers. Cargo is done. Waiting on passengers. Let's go ahead and see if this is moving. Well, it's not moving yet. Let's run a before start checklist to the line. All right, park brake set, oxygen check, navigation, transfer, and display switches. They are normal and auto. Window heat is on. Pressurization auto and set. Terrain display selected. MCP set. Displays. Checked. Auto brake, RTO, fuel quantity and distribution. We have 15,000 pounds and checked. CDU, checked. Engine start levers, cut off. Transponder. TARA, departure briefings complete. Fasten seatbelts on. APU is on buses. Flight forms AML on board accepted aircraft is 3422 for takeoff. Excuse me, for start checklist to the line. Flick the smoking on off. Smoking switch to start boarding. That one? Or maybe it's because I have the seatbelt sign on? There we go. That's interesting. Stick shaker. Thank you, Matavius. Let's see. 4 minutes after power up. Let's see if we get a shaker. There we go. Beautiful shaker test passed. 4 minutes after power up. Very cool. Put them back on, says AJ. They better not stop my boarding process. McAllen, member for 36 months. My man, thank you so much for the 36 months of support. What's that? 12, 24, 36? 3 years. My goodness. MD80 Win, wishing all great New Year's Eve. McAllen, thank you so much, man, for the support all these couple of years. These several years, rather. Appreciate the support, man. MD80 Win, to be honest with you, I haven't even tried to reinstall it yet. The MD80 pissed me off so bad trying to install that thing. Plus, I'm not super motivated just yet, McAllen, because I want the immersive audio sound pack working. Once I get the once I know the immersive audio is working, I'll probably dig back into it because I do love flying the MD-80. Just got here. Bohovers in the U.S. Airways is the hero of the day. Diabetic glad. I couldn't agree more, my man. U.S. Airways 75 is epic. Sync pilot Q&H minimums. Are they not syncing? I thought I turned that option on. Yeah, they are. 3007. They're set. They're synced. All right, so we're waiting for our passengers to finish boarding. Then we can do our speeds. I can actually take a look at the TPS speeds on my flight plan here. Let me see what our plan speeds are going to be. Make sure we are going off of flaps 5. Oh my gosh, O'Hare. I forget looking at the freaking O'Hare performance. You have 427 different runways to choose from. Takeoff data bleeds on. for runway 22 left. We can do a D rate, 140, 40, 47. A DTO, but we'll do, we can't do a TO1 or TO2, so we're going to do a max blast off there. We should be good. What do I think of the textures on the level up? You tell me, Jesse. You tell me. I like the immersive audio situation going on here. I like this. It's bringing life to the airplane. We've got flight attendants doing their thing. We've got boarding doing. This is no GSX. This is no third party. This is all included. I love it when developers do this sort of thing with the EFB, where it's just like you set it up, and then it starts loading, it starts fueling, and you've got audio to go with it. I feel like it really captures the immersion. Airline-specific announcements for free. Thanks, AJ, for the $2-3 super chat. 2 cups of coffee there. AJ's already brought out the diss track. Thank you for the $3 super chat, man. Yeah, airline-specific announcements for free, AJ. That's pretty. Hey, listen. That's pretty cool, man. Not gonna lie, pretty cool. The new sounds from the 80 is not too bad. All right, Roderick. I might, if I find time, I will try to go reinstall that thing. Vectors 2, what's up, man? Thank you for the 12 months of support. Yeehaw, indeed. How do you not Toga? How do you do a not Toga on the 7.3? It's going to be in the cell perf page, which I will show you here in a minute. Actually, I can show you right now. Look, if you go to, you see that? So this is what we're going to be messing with here. So we've got, we could do, there's a couple different things. We have the 26K. So this engine is a little bit different than what I have on my fleet. But 26K, that's your max. You can do a TO1 to rate of 24,000 pounds thrust or a TO2, okay? And then you can also do a manually selected D rate up here. So say you wanted to do 56, you could just do 56. You could put it here, and then it would essentially be the Airbus version of Flex into your takeoff N1 limit. Now this is the same thing for climb. You basically have reduced climb thrust available for the Boeings, where you don't have a reduced climb thrust for the Airbus. So that is an additional thing that we have in the 7.3 now, is you have a D-rated, you can do a climb 1 or a climb 2. So back in my Embraer days, it would always default to climb 2. And then after takeoff, checklist flaps up, select climb 1, please. That's what almost everybody would do. We would just select climb 1, get a little more thrust, start climbing, because the box would default to the most conservative climb thrust, and it'll work, but I mean, it keeps, I mean, you're going to be kind of just hanging around there, barely trying to get up to your altitude. So guys, we just come down into the TRS on the E170 and select climb 1. Speaking of, we probably should fly the FSS E-jets here pretty soon. Give them a shot now that they got VNAV. Where do you set the thrust levers? So what happens when you press the Toga switch, the auto throttle is actually going to move them all the way up to the commanded N1 selection. So it will move them to, let's say we did a 22K D rate thrust, whatever that N1 comes out to. Let's say it's 89% or 89% N1. It will physically move the throttle levers to that position on the quadrant. And that way, if you needed to go Toga, you could physically firewall the throttles, or you could actually double-click the Toga button on the throttle lever as well. Looks like it could start snowing. It sure does, right? Is there snow in this sim, AJ? Do I need to worry about engine anti-ice? For a free aircraft, it is impressive. How are the sounds? Are they too loud? Bare Metals is hanging out over there. How are we doing on the passenger boarding? We are 67% there. What gate are we at? Charlie 11. O'Hare traffic at attitude 223. Charlie 11. We'll be getting ready to push back here in about 5 minutes. We'll be taxiing 22 left for departure. O'Hare traffic. It is simulated? All right, well, we got to be careful then if it starts snowing. It's a sim, and I think Gus gave you XA snow in the boomer pack. Yeah, I think he did. All right, it's been 3 minutes. We can go ahead and do this. We'll go ahead and get the APU bleed on. So we'll go. Let's be nice to the passengers. Yeah, we'll run both packs. What the hell? APU bleed's coming on. dual bleed light. So what you could do is you could just run the left pack, prioritize the cockpit temp. But we'll run both packs. Let's see if we can warm it up here a little bit. Yeah, they're pretty chilly back there. I'm assuming the level up 7.3 is more complex than the Zebo at this point. That's what we're here to find out, AFO. Now, one thing I will tell you, the level up auto generator trip pickup doesn't work quite like it should. So far, the only airplanes that we've tested that do that is the pmdg, and actually the iFly correctly did the APU shutoff auto pickup of the generator loads. But what it does not have simulated is, is that. Now, the other thing it also doesn't have simulated is the stab trim override switch. So I don't know, is it official that is STS like fully modeled on this or not? I'm not sure, but I know the stab trim switch override on the center pedestal is non-functioning. So it has somewhat of a trim system, but definitely not as complex as the PMDG so far. What looks better, this or the NG? You tell me. I'm not gonna. You guys tell me. I've noticed this. I don't know what this little like reflection artifact thing is. Look, I definitely say it's very comparable. I mean, I say it looks pretty dang good. It's comparable right with the NG. Because the 737 NG as it sits, excuse me, NG, the PMDG as it sits, they haven't done the full texture remake, and I would give the pylon and nacelle to PMDG, but I would actually give the wing texture on top of the wing here as I'm looking at it, I'd give it to level up. I actually think this, it may have something to do with the livery too. But it's kind of, I don't know, it's not far off. For being an X-Plane 12 airplane for free, it's actually very, very well done. Clue Savior says, after watching Captain Canada stream the E-Jets all week, I would not even bother. It's not there yet. Yeah, you know, I tuned in for a little bit when I wasn't streaming myself to just kind of see how the E-Jets were doing. I don't know, man. It looks like it. I don't know, and this is no fault to Captain Canada. I don't know if it's pilot error or if it's just the VNAV is still wonky. I know I saw the LNAV doing some wonky things on the stream, but on approach, you got the flight directors like pitching, 12 degrees in the dirt, or the not the flight director, excuse me, the command queue or whatever it's called, and he's flying it correctly. He's flying a proper approach pitch attitude and all that, but the command queue is still doing some weird things. So I'm not sure, man. I'm not itching to go fly them, but we definitely will. We'll check them out. Captain Canada was throwing shade at your VATSIM ban yesterday. Yeah, I heard that. I heard he said that I had like 5 accounts before I got banned. That's not true. If he shows up, we'll have to give him the truth. We'll give him. We'll edumacate him. But nah, I don't think he was throwing shade, man. He's probably tired of hearing about it, honestly. Alright, what's that? That was the dual bleed light, right? Alright, cool. Are we done? 100%, we're ready to go. So, with boarding complete, we're going to do our flow. So we get the prop heats on, we're going to get the engine hydraulics off, we're going to set packs for takeoff. APU bleed, that's closed. Door lights out. Let's get the anti-collision light on. We'll do, it's a 30th, so we'll be start switch to the right. And we are on APU. We are on APU.
Please refer to
Jet bridge just push back. O'Hare traffic United 223 pushing back Charlie 11. All right, let's run a transponder TARA. Door is closed and locked. Before start, checklists please below the line. Prop heat on. Hydraulic panel set. Doors and windows closed and locked. Anti-collision light on. 4-star checklist complete. One thing I should also check here, we hit the engine system. Pressure 2850, cool. All right, let's go ahead and call better pushback. I already
Ground
pre-planned us.
cockpit, tow is driving up.
Oh, shoot. We got to finish our takeoff. Perfing it. Ah! 0 fuel weight. 134.5. Execute. 14.9 is on board. That looks good. We'll go to the N1 limit page with TO1. Climb 1. Takeoff. Flaps 5. Sorry, I'm doing this. Oh, you can see. Yeah, flaps 5. CG is 4.5. And let's go 38, 44, 49. So now we'll spin in V2 149. Leave VNAV off the ground, heading. That is set.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed. Ready to connect.
America West.
Federal aviation regulations.
My goodness me.
Require passenger compliance with guided
Oh,
information.
let's do a quick trim test. Pull full aft. Can I trim forward? Nope. Can I push forward to trim aft? Nope. That works good. But I need to trim. What do I need to trim? We need to be 4.5 units. So the trim system on the ground works correctly, but the stab override switch, yeah, see, it doesn't even work. So at least they got that going for them. I'm going to hide the yoke because it's going to get a little jittery here after start, just for
So
bloomer
connected
stuff.
and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
Brakes release, clear to push.
Starting pushback. And you may start engines.
And of course, please remove the facial covering before applying the action mask. The flight attendant.
Oh, let's go ahead and ground 2, please. Grounding 2.
Sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight. Welcome aboard. I actually have my fuel switches bound. They make them really easy to bind, which is awesome. Fuel on. That sounds pretty damn good. My goodness. Good start on 2 count. Let's go ahead and turn 1. My goodness, chat. That sounded pretty dang good. I was going to watch it from up front, but I want to hear that again. Look, we got a reverse N1 maybe? No. Is that a Tupolev? Fuel on. Just got here. What does it look like? 1971. Get out of here, Vodka. What's up, buddy? Vodka, fire up your Learjet.
Operation complete. Set parking brake.
I will. Hold on. I'm enjoying the startup sound. Golly, that's that's pretty good. Brake set. Clear disconnect. Show me the pin out front.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
Gen 1, Gen 2. All right, FO flow. We're going to do this. We're actually going to get the engine and IS on the ground. We're going to go auto, auto, auto. APU bleed is off. We'll throw you back into auto, auto as well. All right, that looks good. Start switches, they don't have auto, so we're going to throw them into continuous. APU can come down, disconnect, and hand signals. We're going to set flaps to Fife. Flight control swipe.
Tow is disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal on the right. We'll see you next time and have a safe flight.
After start checklist, please. And ice. As required, generators on. Air conditioning and bleeds. Set. Flaps. Set. Flight controls checked. Recall. Check. After start checklist complete. Alright, I gotta pull up my taxi diagram here. I figure out how the heck we're gonna get over to 2-2 left. We're gonna make our way Southport, Alpha 7 November. O'Hare ground, United 223, taxi on 22 left. We're coming out of Southport. We're going to take Alpha 7 November, full length, 22 left, O'Hare traffic. Brakes released, taxi light on, let's go. That sounds pretty good. That sounds pretty good. Holy bright lights. I gotta tell you, that model looks pretty dang good. Still got some ants. We have some ants still. So I should be able to put a disco there on 22 left, which I can't to clean up this turn, but that's all right. We're gonna cross the pad. There's nobody on our left, clear left. We're gonna cross the pad and then we're gonna go Southport all the way out. The slats though with the dirt, this looks so good. I love that the slat dirt there, Alex. Or Sandman, rather. Yeah, I do have default O'Hare. I had O'Hare Nimbus V3, but I wasn't going to spend... It's like you get like a $5 discount for V4. No, thank you. It's still $25 for scenery that you already own. I'm like, no, thank you. So we're going default O'Hare. Is this American gonna roll here? Is he rolling or are we idle? What's going on here? Hey, the American 7-3 on Alpha, you on free? Alright, we're gonna just taxi around you. He's been there since the stream started, so I don't know if he's waiting on a gate or simulated waiting on a gate there. Straight wing NG. I mean, that is juicy. Yeah, he's shut down there. What's going on with him? It's alright, we'll make our way around him. Certainly not simulating O'Hare ground ops. Someone would have towed him by now. Oh yeah, tower would be livid. Yeah, X-plane night lighting at airports is the king still. It is.
American 22.8, hold short of 2.8 right on that Quadrant. And at 223, I'll just wait for you to run to the side of the hall. Getting across.
Copy that, thanks. We're still a little ways down, but thank you. Alright, we are on Alpha 12. This doesn't match up with my scenery, so I'm gonna come to the right here to get onto November, and November will take us full length because this scenery doesn't quite match that real world chart. And O'Hare traffic, United 223. Sidestep to November, going November full length now, 223.
Fire traffic United 3462, taxiing right 22 left via Alpha and Lima Lima in November, 22 left all here.
Don't forget, if you like X-Plane 12 content and you want to see more, do hit that like button. One thing that is correct, which I really like, we're going to do the old school takeoff config check. I want you to pay attention to the N1s. So we're going to go from idle all the way up to takeoff and back with no, pretty much no N1 spool. See, that's pretty good. Takeoff config check. And move like 1%. Speedbag. What's up? Hayden J. Robbins, the Speedbag. Good to see you, buddy. All right, where's our checklist at? Let's do a before takeoff to the line, please. Takeoff data and bugs. Closeout received and checked. Flaps 5. Green light. Stab trim. .5 units. Takeoff brief complete. HUD, we won't use it for this departure. Generators on. Air conditioning and bleeds auto and set. Before takeoff check is still on. Have I done ice shedding procedure yet? No, I haven't. I don't think there's any icing going on, so I'm actually going to turn the engine and IS off.
Air traffic American 22, go straight and go up to General 3.
Someone going to General Freight? Oh, there he is. No? Did he say he's going to General Freight? The beacons at night in X-Plane 12 are goated. Yeah, that beacon flash is so real. How much would the N1 move if it were an Airbus? You know what? Honestly, I haven't ever tested it in the Airbus because that's not how you do the takeoff config check in the Airbus. It would freak out on you because if you did that with the Airbus, you would actually cycle it into Toga and you'd cycle the box. So you'd cause all sorts of issues if you did that on the ground. Now, one thing I want to set up here, I need to set the GCO arc. So let's see if that works. Let's go fix info, GCO. I forgot to do this. We have a 5.5. And a 8.5 arc, or excuse me, radius that we need to cross respectively. There we go. So we need to cross those respectively at 3,000 and 4,000 feet. Thanks, AJ, for the $3 super chat. My tips cost more than this plane. Sounds an airport. True story, AJ. Thanks for the $3 super chat. But you're not lying, my man. You're not lying. O'Hare traffic, United 223, hold short of 22 left. United, or O'Hare traffic. All right, we're going to hold short here, 22 left. We're going to go over our last checklist items. All right, let's see. All right, that's all set. That's all set. MCP. And below the line, please. MCP and ND checked. Runway 22 left. Get you set up right there. PA. Flight controls, please prepare for departure. Lights are set. Before takeoff check is complete. Let's go. O'Hare traffic. United 223 departing runway 22 left. It's going going to be a left turn out departure, United O'Hare traffic. All right, let's go ahead and do it. How do I turn off the cabin lights? Via the EFB?
Car traffic, Cactus 338, hold on, shoulder 2 left.
Why do they even allow you to... I don't know how to do it, man. They're so annoying. Can we stop making cabin lights? If you don't default them to off, let's just stop making cabin lights. Ground services, cabin lighting, because that makes sense. We have ground services in the cabin, cabin lighting in the ground services. How do I turn it off? Entry, white, medium. I can't even turn them off. Yeah, we need to, as collectively as a whole, please developers, please stop. If you're going to do cabin lighting, just default them to off. If people want to play flight attendant, then you can have the option in the EFB, but they should always be default off. It's ridiculous. Ooh. We hit a turtle. All right. X-plane yoga time. Let's go. Spool them up 40. Look at that America West out there. All right, here we go. Yoga's in chat. Yoga. Look at the engine wobble. Uh-oh.
$80.
We're set.
B1 rotate.
Oh, I don't have a flight director.
Positive right. Gear up.
That's alright. Do it manual. Wow, that's loud, I know.
400.
Heading select. 1,000 speed.
1,000.
Level change, set 250. Might the auto throttle not take? Pops one. Oh, why the auto throttle didn't take there. $180. Oh, there we go. My binding wasn't, my throttle wasn't seated all the way. Flaps up. My hardware throttle wasn't seated all the way. Golly, it's so loud. I can't hear. I'm going to turn that down. All right, we're 3x4. We're clear with that. Hold on, I need to set.
Cactus 338, speed entering runway 22 left. Clear.
Hold on, this is how I set my autopilot. I got to do it this way with the level up. There we go. Command A. It's going to take over. So with the level up in the Bruner, it's weird. I have to like disconnect my yoke, change the hardware settings, and then it works. I don't know, it's bizarre. Oh, here, traffic, United 223 at a 6,000 feet. We're going to make our left turn here, direct E-make, last call here. Alright, we're definitely in icing conditions. Get the engine and IS on. Let's do an after takeoff checklist, please. Alright, flaps up, no lights. Gear is up and off. RTO is off. Air conditioning and bleeds are set. APU as required. Does the Windwing FMC work? Yes, it does. Works the default SimMap Pro. That's what I'm using right now.
Roger, traffic 9 there, 462, lining up, runway 22 left, full here.
Keep it further left turn 090. Keep left turn coming. You see my sounds right here? They get a little wonky. In front works. Ooh, X-plane breakout. Flyby. We forgot to do a flyby after takeoff. What's going on, guys? I was distracted by the auto throttle not working. Alright, United 223, proceed direct, E-bake. E-bake, direct, LNAV. VNAV. Up we go. Here comes 10,000 feet.
Alright, traffic United there, 462, rolling 22 left, eastbound departure, full here.
We'll go ahead and switch to 22.8. See, why does it do that over the engine view right there? Doesn't do it in front of the engine. Relics. No, I didn't do anything on the EFB because I'm not a flight attendant. I don't mess with that. You forgot to install the anti-Star Wars rain mod? Oh man, we're getting a little bit of turbulence here. Let's set the weather radar on. Does weather radar work on this? Holy crap, it does. A little bit of cell. There's a cell there just to the west of E-bake. Oh, it will set up and start auto crew management, and the cabin crew will begin doing their jobs. Nah, poppycock. Ain't got time for that. My only complaint about the lights in X-Plane 12 is not that they're so monotonous, no colors, green. Yeah, it's very gray, Johan. Why is it so loud in here? Oh, you know why it's so loud? Is my stream too loud for y'all? Like, can I turn it down for the stream? But I do remember I was in here. Yeah, I had these up. Let's bring you back to 5. We'll do 6. Turn it down just a little bit. I mean, it still looks pretty good. The light underneath the MCP looks really good. I mean, look at that view right there. Zoom you out. We have traffic on, right? Yeah. Man, that wind just picked up 53 knots, crosswind. Flyby. You can change antenna and the elevation and gain? Really? The reflections on the windows are still kind of weird. All right, we can go ahead and get rid of the barrel mins. Get those out of there. Once we hit 18, we'll get the rest of our lights. Cooking with gas. We are cooking with gas, chat. Al Loper, good to see you, man. It says, one thing I've learned from watching X-Plane streams, it's all about plugins. Yes. And how many you need? Yes. Al Loper. So I've gotten to the point where I just hit up Gustavo in the Discord. I say, hey, I need a boomer pack. He packages all the plugins for me. And then I just put that in my resources folder. So if you love to tinker with your system, then X-Plane is for you. I am anti-tinker, man. I have been so spoiled now, and that's why I really enjoy, a part of the reasons why I really enjoy 2024 is there's no tinkering. You just, if you want a scenery, you download it, it's good to go. Heck, if you buy it from the marketplace, which is definitely taboo, you don't even have to restart your sim. It's just boom, new scenery installed, go fly. It's all there. X-Plane 12, if you want to maximize X-Plane 12, you have to tinker. X-Plane 12 out of the box is not up to snuff, in my opinion. But if you spend the time tinkering and you do plug in this, plug in that, plug in this, plug in that, you can get a respectable looking simulation. There's no doubt. There's no doubt. But again, do you love to tinker? That's my question. To be fair, I have my share of plugins and third-party utilities for Microsoft. See, Valrod, that's where I'm different, man. I don't run anything in MSFS. I run default everything except the airplanes and airports. I don't have any plugins. I don't run Chase Plane, which is causing a lot of issues. I don't run any weather mods. We're definitely into some chop. Here's 18,000 feet. Let's go ahead and set standards. Standards set. We'll also get the rest of our lights off. And we are cooking. Now, is my throttle, it shouldn't be, yeah, okay. So, that was not a level up problem on takeoff. What happened was, so this is the Blackbird Control 737 lever. It didn't, sometimes after it sits on my Bravo for a very long time, it doesn't seat all the way. So when I hit Toga on my Bravo, I never actually hit Toga in the sim. The button didn't register. That was the problem. I noticed that because then I was trying to disengage out of throttle, and I wouldn't disengage. I'm like, oh, my lever's not seated. So no fault to level up there. That was just a hardware problem. But also something you should keep in mind, if you do use any kind of levers, attachments to your honeycomb, make sure they're seated, because I've had them, not just with these, I've had other levers, like they just come out of the seat just a millimeter, and then the buttons won't register because the contacts aren't being made. So that was 100% a me problem, not a level up problem. Look at the between layers here. This is pretty spicy, AJ. AJ, this is spicy, my man. Between layers here. You think Q8 runs X-Plane 12 default except for better pushback? Yeah, it's funny you say that. I actually tuned into his X-Plane 12 stream a little bit when he was flying the MD-11. And if there's an airplane that you need to have mods, it's the MD-11, because the rotate, it flies, and the systems are good. I don't know the MD-11, right? I don't know how accurate it is to the real thing, but it flies so nice. It's such a challenge. It's such a challenge to fly well. So I enjoy the MD-11 a lot, the Rotate MD-11, but you need at minimum 4 mods. There's a gray panel mod, there's a line removal mod, there's a sound pack mod, and a PFD color mod. You get all those mods working for the MD-11, it's actually a pretty enjoyable, experience. But yeah, he was running a default, and I'm like, ooh, yeah, that's why I don't run the default MD-11. They're all free mods except the Mango Sound Pack, but the Mango Sound Pack is a must, I agree. Look at this layer of cloud situation going on here, AJ. X-Plane fans unite. My goodness me. So this one is no window view. I might have to adjust this one here. Hack myself out a little bit. Oh, almost had it. Where do I want to be? I want to be like right there, maybe. Let's do a flyby. Oh, we're getting ready to go through some more clouds up ahead. Flight times, please take a 6 that's not good. I love how fast the approaches are on the M11. Yeah, I agree, Dan. Not gonna lie, Zobo needs to poach some of the atmospheric weather folks from X-Plane. It's miles ahead in terms of weather. I gotta fly in it more, cool, calm, Casey. Before I agree with you there, I gotta. What I would rather them have, cool, calm, Casey, is I would rather them poach the G loading camera guy. So right now I have my G-loading camera set to, what did I set it to, AJ? Like 25%? And I think that's where you need to be. 25% to me seems somewhat realistic, but any head shake add-ons I don't enjoy because they're not realistic if you've actually been in an airplane. In the real airplane, when you're going through turbulence, your body moves with the aircraft. So you don't just sit there and see the panel doing all the vibration stuff. So by default, I think, AJ, what is the G-loaded camera at, like 100? It's way too inaccurate for my eyes. Now, if you've never been in the airplane, maybe you enjoy that. But if I knock it down to about that 25% or 1/4 tick mark, I feel that's a much more realistic representation because, again, your body's not going to be moving with the airplane, but you can still get the sense of movement when you're going through atmospherics that would cause turbulence. So I've actually come to really enjoy that part of the G-loaded camera in X-Plane 12. So I would like to see that become a staple in Microsoft if it ever can be, without Chaseplane. X-Plane's looking juicy because you can't see terrain. Amen, Mr. Martini. That's why we're on the East Coast flying east into the nighttime above the clouds, my man. A G-loaded camera turns into someone holding an iPhone to record the takeoff. True. You probably don't want to hear this, but Chaseplane has an excellent G-loaded camera. Yeah, see, cool. I don't want to do Chaseplane yet. I've seen people have issues. I'm not saying all the issues are Chaseplane, but I've seen people have issues with Chaseplane. I know how Chaseplane works behind the scenes, and I know that can cause issues. And I'm not saying I'm anti-Chaseplane forever. I'm saying I might invest in Chaseplane like 6 months from now. I'll go finish my sim training. Then when I, out on the line, I come back. Then I'll take a look, see how Chaseplane is doing, and then I might pick it up then. But right now, out of the gate, I'm not interested in potentially causing stability issues just yet. I don't crave it that much. Can't hear all the cries over the Wolf Air sound pack. Gus, is that who did this sound pack, Wolf Air? I'll be honest with you, Gus. The sounds on this aircraft are extremely well. Look at the wing shaking out there. We're going through some nasties right now. Yeah, let's go ahead and dial the speed back. Speed intervene. Oh, it doesn't seem to work up there. We're going to go 7.3 Mach. We're going to pull it back. Seatbelt sounds. I'm going to turn the wing light on real quick. Ladies and gentlemen from the flight deck, it does appear we're going to be going through an area of rough weather here for the continuous, next 5 or 10 minutes or so. I do have the seatbelt sign on, and I do ask that the flight attendants remain seated at this time. Right now, we are looking for some smoother air up ahead, but unfortunately, due to air traffic control, they're telling us we got to stay down low here. So, like I said, another 5-7 minutes or so, we should be out of it. Thanks for your patience. My goodness me, that's a little excessive, but the engine's going to fall off. Look at that. I don't know if I got to watch some YouTube videos of 737s in severe turbulence. Do they move that much? Someone didn't have their Skype turned on. Turk, what's up, buddy? Turks! Oh, I got to check. Turks. I was going to say this, man. I have a complaint to file. Candlewood Suites, my man? What's up with Candlewood Suites? I want the beautiful, amazing HQ facility. But I did talk to them. I talked to Pubs. They said to check after 4 o'clock today, so I got to check. They said it's booked out, but I think I'm going to do like half in Candlewood and half in the main facility. But yeah, my original schedule was Candlewood Suites for the entirety of Sim. I was like, oh. I'm gonna have, when we get up to cruise, we're gonna YouTube 737 in severe turbulence window views, because we got to find out what it looks like. T-Tut Company, I'm sorry I missed your super chat there, my man. Appreciate the $5 super chat. It says, so X-Plane 12 is a girl, you always keep the lights off. Man, that's an AJ comment if I ever heard one. Tutka, thanks for the $5 super chat, man. Appreciate you. But yes. What's the slow flyby view that everyone likes? Oh, you see this? You see how the airplane actually disappears in the density of the clouds? That is another point for X-Plane 12 over Microsoft. That is a point for X-Plane 12 over Microsoft. I'm going to go ahead and delete these fix info pages here. We don't need this anymore. We'll delete that. Get rid of that. Yeah, we are getting our butts kicked. We got 7.4 Mach selected. We'll keep going. Hopefully it'll smooth out. It looks like there's a nice sunset going on, but we can't get to it because we're still IMC. No, we're not at cruise yet. You found a 7.3 turb video. It's pretty accurate. All right, I'm going to look at them. I'm going to look at them when we get up to cruise. Look, I swear, it wasn't me that objected to your to your unit application. Oh, wait. Oh, never mind. Yeah, man. Fight for the good hotel. We'll do, man. We'll do. Oh, looks, we're coming out of it. We just got on top of it. Look, and the weather. Okay, I got to be honest with you. We had some pretty moderate chop. We get on top of it, and it's smoothed out. Man, where's Gus at when you need him? All right, I'll say this, that turbulence simulation there coming through the layer, I haven't seen that to that extent in Microsoft yet. That was pretty accurate. Get up on top of it here. Looks like it's smoothing out. Go back to 7.6 here. It did look pretty cool, Sam, man. I will say that looked pretty cool. I need to check. Let's go full screen cam here. While you guys enjoy that, I gotta look up something here on my iPad real quick. What yoke is that? Yes, it's the Brunner Electronic force feedback yoke, which I really need Team Vodka to get X-Plane 12 going so we can make a profile that works correctly with this airplane. I have some compatibility issues with the level up in X-Plane 12. Like my initial engagement of the autopilot, I have to disconnect the yoke from the sim, engage the autopilot, then I can reconnect the yoke, and then it works like it's intended to the whole time. But yeah, there's some inconsistencies with how it works in X-Plane 12. V1 was praising X-Plane over Microsoft. I'm not praising him, Captain Sim. I'm just saying I'm giving credit where credit is due. There was some accurate simulation going on up there. Turn down the floods here a little bit. We can turn the wing light off. Turn the engine anti-ice off. Got the bright blues. TA goes away, and one coming down. That's pretty good. Hey, so yeah, I did get the I got the good hotel halfway through. So I got what's 21 minus 10 is 11. So I got 12 days in the Candlewood, and then I got 9 and 6, 15 days in the good hotel. All right. Hey, much better than all in the Candlewood. I'm happy with that. They split it up. Very nice people at the tech pubs. Very nice people there. Turks, I start on the, well, I check in on the 9th. Start, first day is 10th. 1,000 to level off. Can I get a radio check on 122.8? I just want to make sure my mic's working. All right, cool. What about Microsoft 24 yoke work perfectly? She 017. In Microsoft 24, at least with the profile, I'm not going to say it works perfectly with every airplane, but with the profiles that we've made, yeah, I've never had to do what I have to do in X-Plane 12. So in Microsoft, I've never had to disconnect the yoke to engage the autopilot and then re-engage the yoke. It's kind of weird. I have had to disconnect the yoke in the sim before because something got wonky. But yeah, it's really interesting because you would think that if I disconnect the yoke to engage the autopilot, when I reactivate the yoke to talk to the sim, you would think it would just disconnect the autopilot again, but it doesn't. It's just for that very first activation of the autopilot. All right, let's go back to VNAV. There we go. VNAV path, we're back on it. We're at 370. Cruise is 370, 78 Mach. That looks good. 37, 450. I would like to run the sim time back and actually see a sunset now, but I don't want to unpause the sim, right? would have to unpause the sim, and because I'm tracking real time, it won't let me. Yeah, it won't let me move the sim time back. So we're gonna fly the whole. What do you guys want me to do? Fly the whole time, real weather, nighttime. I mean, that looks pretty good, to be honest with you. Let me brighten this up. Let's go to our cruise cam here. Try to set this up. We don't need the FCU. Bring you to the prog page. We can keep track on 291 at TOD. Biggest tip I can give is go home on the weekends. The worst thing you can do is spend a month straight up there. Pretty much count on you taking your weekends off of. Yeah, Turks for sure, man. That's what I'm planning on doing. And I was also thinking silver lining. I don't know. I have to check. Maybe you know off the top of your head. But so since I know that you can't have guests at the main campus, if I'm at the off-site hotel for the first 10 days, whatever, am I allowed to have a visitor there? Is it like normal hotel operations, or are they frown upon that? Realistic turbine, Microsoft does not really. I mean, yes, and I will, to piggyback off Turk's comment there for Kevin65. In Sim Update 4, for some reason, the realistic setting of the turbulence in Microsoft 24 seems to be much more. I don't know if I want to say aggressive, but the way the airplanes react with the turbulence on realistic in Sim Update 4 is definitely a no-go for me. I strongly suggest using medium. And depending on the airplane, you might even want to use low, but I haven't flown anything other than the PMDG. I think the PMDG handles fine on medium. The iFly handles fine on medium. I know the Phoenix auto thrust system used to get a little wonky with realistic. I don't know how it is now, but it should be fine on medium as well. But definitely run medium for turbulence settings in X-Plane 12, especially Sim Update 4. I prefer night. It's always more chill, and it's only X-Plane. That is true, Dale. Let's do that. We can get some. We got some New Year's tunes on. Why did we just lose 400 feet here? I also want to look up. We're gonna look up some 7.3 videos because I want to see. First off, Aveo Platinum. Are we going into anybody's airspace? We are not. We're good. I know there's Canada's online. That's interesting. As far as airspace concerns, we're safe. All right, so let's look up some 737 severe turbulence. Why are we struggling to maintain altitude here? So they have some shorts videos that appear to be... Oh my gosh, the wing flex on that. Oh my goodness, what is this? You guys gotta watch this. Are you kidding me? That looks sped up. That's got to be sped up. Right? Oh my gosh. What airline is that? That one's definitely sped up because there's no way that would move that fast. There's no way that's real time. Let me find one that does look legit. Okay, now this actually looks representative of what we just saw. I wish I could get a view of the window a little bit further over, or the engine. Taking off into wake turbulence. Where's the wake? Looks like a normal takeoff to me. What are you departing Houston? Yeah, that's fake news. That's that one we just watched. That drums are going to give me a that's why you always wear your seatbelt. Yeah, the window frame looks like it's not as sped up. Yeah, you can see the window frame is moving. It's like 1.5 speed or something like that. All right. Let's see if I can find actual video. Heavy turbulence 350. I don't want that. Oh, this one is so wild. This happened years ago. You guys have seen this, right? Curb feeler strike. Oh! That's an old one. It's like 13-something years ago, I think. Maybe not 13 years ago. At least half a dozen years ago, maybe. It was a while back. Wind shear. I mean, I guess it was moving pretty good in that Delta video. Alright. Not bad. Alright, where we at? That was Aerolíneas Argentinas? Really? I feel like this is where we need to do a green dot or something up here. Oh, getting cozy. Ever fly the 05 approach in fog? I think we did, Vodka. I think we did a while back. That's Aerolíneas Argentinas flying over the Andes Mountains, heavy turbulence zone. That makes sense. That's a slight hiccup compared to summertime Grand Canyon touring. I can imagine, AFO. All these moderate and extreme, I know. You seen the picture of the aftermath of SkyWest sending a safety car? Yes. Yeah, Turk's the one with the ones that went right over DFW, right? Yeah, safety card. Is it through the ceiling? Not good. That'll buff out, no worries. Yeah, a curb strike, exactly. Are pilots fired for that mistake? Probably not. Media 737 crashes. Aviation nerds. That looks expensive. What happens after something like that, a wing strike? Does the company call pilots? Most likely. So, if you damage an aircraft, that's technically going to be reported as an aircraft accident or incident, right? You got to report that. And then the first thing that's going to happen is they're going to pull the crew. You're going to be drug tested. Then the union's going to get involved, and then They're going to ask. They're going to go over the flight. They're going to go over everything. That's why, you know, whenever you're up front, you always want to keep it professional because you never know what's going to happen. You could have a tire blow on rollout, and you were just, you know, talking in sterile or whatever. Little things like that can always come back and bite you. So that's why you always got to try to be as professional as you can up front. But yeah, they're going to pull the tapes. They'll listen to the CVR. They'll listen to or they'll look at the flight data. They'll see all the parameters, and then if they deem that it was, you know, something preventable or something that that they did wrong, they will probably do one of two. I mean, if it was negligence, which in a case like that, it's pretty rare you just have gross negligence, but they'll probably bring the pilots in, probably either do some retraining or, you know, they'll suspend them for a while until they get retrained, and then they can go back to the line, slap on the wrist, like, don't do that again. Now, in the case of, I'd be curious, I don't know, that CRJ that, did we ever get a final report on that, or at least another update, the CRJ in Toronto? That one I'd be more curious about, because that one, that was a slammer. And I'm not sure what's going to happen after an incident like that, where the aircraft is actually destroyed, right? And nobody's hurt. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen to that crew. Would you say that this competes with PMDG? No. As far as systems are concerned, no. As far as looks and sounds, yes. Now, flight model, I'm gonna be. I really take this with a grain of salt because I haven't actually flown the airplane yet. But just from my observations, and I saw a little bit of Flight Deck to Sims video earlier when we were driving to Costco with the fam. This airplane feels very sluggish. Not sluggish in terms of performance, but just the reaction to the controls. They feel very slow and smooth. So I think, I don't know, the PMDG at least feels a little more responsive. But again, I don't know which one is more accurate. Flight Deck to Sim, who does fly the airplane, he, at least from what I heard, tends to agree. He says it is still a little bit slow to react in some characteristics of flight. But, you know, just from studying the airplane over the past month, I could tell you that the PMDG has a pretty much a really good STS system simulated. They have the whole trim override system simulated. The STS, I don't think STS is simulated in the level up, at least not fully. You don't hear it spinning at all when you're hand flying the airplane manually. And for those of you that don't know what the STS trim system is, I went over it on my last stream briefly. We can do it again briefly, but essentially what happens is, let's say you're flying 250 knots and you pull the power to idle in your level flight. What do you have to do? You have to pull back on the yoke to maintain altitude, right? And what the airplane will do with STS is it will actually run the trim nose down to encourage you to do one of two things. Either lower the nose, right, and get back to the trimmed airspeed at 250 knots, or retrim the aircraft. Now, STS, the speed trim system on the 7.3, what's pretty cool about it is if you activate the manual trim switch, it will deactivate STS for 5 seconds. So replay that same scenario, 250 knots, 10,000 feet, pull the power to idle, and you start pulling back on the yoke to maintain altitude. STS starts to run against you. You say, no, you don't. You click the trim, boom, you pause it for 5 more seconds. And then you can either retrim the aircraft or do what you need to do. So it's weird when you think about it, because you're like, why would Boeing design a system to trim against the pilot? But it's there to encourage the pilot to return the aircraft to the trimmed airspeed. So the opposite would be true. So you're at 5,000 feet, or 10,000 feet rather, 250 knots, autopilot's off, you slam the throttles forward. What does the airplane want to do? It wants to pitch up. So what you would do as the pilot is, if you were trying to maintain level with no trim, you're going to have to push nose down or push forward on the control column. STS is going to start kicking in. It's actually going to start trimming aft because it wants you to, hey, dummy, I need you to either trim up or pull the power back, get this airplane back to the trimmed airspeed. So that is not, to my knowledge, simulated in the level up, at least not yet. Now, to piggyback off of that, the trim override, so on the ground we tested this, where you cannot trim against control yoke pressure in a normal situation. So if you are pressing full forward on the yoke, theoretically, you're not able to use aft trim on your control column. Opposite would be true. If I'm pulling full aft, I wouldn't be able to trim nose forward, because why would you want to do that? However, if you ever needed to, stab trim override would allow you to do that, which we tested in PMDG, and it is working correctly where you would actually be able to do that. So the more I learn about the Boeing and the systems underlying, there's a whole lot that, you know, people said for years, oh, the 737 is so outdated, and myself included, there's no protections. Like, there's actually some automated stuff going on behind the scenes, especially if you just pull the power dial, the autopilot's on, the trim's going to start running maintain altitude. It's going to get 3 knots below the amber band. It's going to inhibit nose up trim, very similar to the slow speed protections on the Airbus. And then you get into the maximum AOA, the red airspeed tape, the autopilot disconnects. So it's almost, the 737NG almost flies like the 320 in alternate law, where you have, oh my gosh, Turks, I don't remember, stabilities, but not protections, because stabilities can be overridden, right? Protections can. So in the Airbus, in alternate law, you don't have any protections, but you have stabilities, like slow speed stability and high speed stability. You have very similar acting systems in the 737NG, which is pretty neat to learn about. Now, they're not exactly the same, but a lot of the theory behind it, or the process behind, the thought process behind it is very similar. John Seifert, thank you for the 23 months, almost 2 years, man. Appreciate you. Almost 2 years. Thanks for all the great flights. John, appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for the support, dude. Appreciate you, man. Beyond your best behavior, AA Triple had a runway incursion. JFK 3 pilots. Only pilot that was disciplined was the relief pilot, the jump seat, because they checked their Facebook during pushback. Nothing to do with actual runway incursion. I did hear about that, Turks. I did. So, for those out there that are in training and want to become airline pilots, let that be an example. Someone has already learned the hard way, where the JFK 777 American that had the runway incursion, they crossed the wrong runway, jump seater in the cockpit right here, this seat, had nothing to do with the incursion, but they found out that they were on their cellular device in sterile. So who gets disciplined? Not the 2 pilots up front, but the jump seater. So don't want to be doing that. YSim, I wanted to get to your comment. You said the MCAS cousin for STS. It is. And what's interesting, YSF Sim, the MCAS system on the 73 MAX piggybacks off the 737 STS NG. So the NG has the STS trim, and it also has the pitch stability. The MAX has 4 off of that. It has both of those, and then it has MCAS, and then it also has RCAS, and it also has another stability thing. But it piggybacks off the STS system. And unfortunately, in the iFly Max, which we tested yesterday, there's really none of that simulated. So the iFly Max, it looks like a Max, flies differently, sounds like a Max, but as far as some of the deeper systems modeling, it's not quite there. But the engine modeling is pretty decent. You know, they have the proper N1 or starter cut out at 67% N2 as opposed to 56%. So they do have a lot of nuanced detail in terms of the engines and the fuel flows and things like that. And the motoring sequence, that's all done pretty realistically. But the flight directors don't really act very realistically. It doesn't have MCAS. It has like 50% RCAS simulated. What's really cool on the Max is it has spoiler jam assist, which essentially allows you to activate direct lift control in the 737. So if you were to turn on the elevator jam assist button in the 737 MAX, the spoilers will deflect. And when they deflect, you are going to control pitch of the airplane with the spoilers. So if you want to push down on the control column, the spoilers will actually deflect up to kill the lift and have the airplane descend. If you pull aft on the control column, the spoilers will actually decrease and allow more lift over the wing. So it assists the pilot in maintaining pitch control when you have a jam stab, hence the switch name, elevator stab or elevator jam stab switch, right? Unfortunately, that's not modeled in the Max either. So the deeper I dove into the Max, I realized it's still missing quite a few things, but at the end of the day, and I was thinking about this earlier, what do most simmers care about? And we're our own worst enemy, right? The majority of simmers want the airplane to look like the airplane it's supposed to look like. They want it to sound like the airplane it's supposed to sound like, and they want it to fly smooth. They don't really care, at least in my opinion, if it flies realistically, because they wouldn't know what realistically is. They just want smooth flight models. And myself to blame for this. I put myself in that category as well for some aircraft. So the question then is, well, why does one developer spend all this extra time modeling all these other nuanced things if the average simmer doesn't even know they exist or care about? And to that I say, charge them more. And that's where I differ from a lot of at least the Reddit threads and a lot of the younger crowd, I think, where they were up in arms about PMDG charging for an update. The more I learn about the 7.3 and I see what PMDG has simulated, I mean, credit where credit is due. Like, I mean, they put the time in. They've got these nuanced systems simulated and working correctly. I mean, if you don't want it, don't buy it. But, I mean, there's a reason that they're charging. It's not just because they want to. So, and then you look at the iFly Max, $70 airplane, and it does have some good things modeled. I don't want to take that away from the Max. I think the sounds are really nice. Boris audio works. But when you dig deeper into what it does, it's probably like 75% of what, if PMDG is 95%, the Max, the iFly is like 75%. So that's my own personal opinion. If you really want to blow your mind, you can tell them the difference between the FAC weight and the McDo weight and what that does to VAP on the older buses versus the newer bus. Turks, listen, I've dumped all that, my man. Don't get my brain back in. That's why I almost flew the Phoenix. But then I'm like, do I really want to fly the Phoenix? I feel like I've been away from Airbus for so long, I've dumped it. Do I really want to reactivate my Airbus brain? But speaking of, like Jesse says, Phoenix is unmatched. I agree. The Phoenix simulation, what you get out of the box with the Phoenix A320, it's phenomenal. It is. They have modeled to the T so many little nuanced things. How many of you in chat have put the Phoenix A320 into direct law? How many in the chat even know how to put it into direct law? How many of you put it in alternate law? I've messed with all that, and this was, years ago when it came out. It was already like 90% there in those sub modes. Now, I think they made some improvement over the years, and I think some things got borked over the years. But the fact that they at least even attempted, going into all these sub modes on the Airbus, it's pretty incredible. So, I mean, huge shout out to the Phoenix team. I will always love the Phoenix. I will always love the Airbus. But from a simmer perspective, the whole Phoenix simulation is it's phenomenal. When you guys boot up that airplane and you can connect those batteries, you hear that thunk, thunk. You are powering up a very, very detailed aircraft and very detailed systems behind those panels, which I always get. I feel like that's just a really cool feeling to have. When you're not just, you fire up the default. Say you fire up the default 7.3 Max, the Adobo one, right? Nothing is going on. You just have some lights turn on and some sounds. And other payware add-ons are the same way. You fire it up, you're going to have some lights and some sounds. But is there really simulation going on behind the panel? Probably not. But Phoenix, PMDG does it. Just Flight Products, they do it. So Valrod says, I agree with what you said, what simmers want. I want to fly it somewhat realistically. It doesn't have to be 100%, but in the ballpark of how the plane should really fly. Yeah, Valrod, and look, it's no fault to simmers. Like, that's what we want. We want the airplanes to look good, sound good, and fly good, right? So what then is going to separate an immensely detailed aircraft from one that's not immensely detailed? In my opinion, it should be the price. So, golly, I would not be disappointed if Phoenix comes out and they charge $100 for standalone A320neo and then $30 each for the 19 and the 321. Because the amount of time and work and development that they put into the Airbus, that's it sets them apart. Charge $100 for the 320neo. That's probably going to make a lot of people upset that I'm saying that. But no. But shoot, PMDG charging, each model independently, I have no problem with that because there's a lot more that needs to be modeled in a 7.3, and so far, they're really the only one that I've seen model as much stuff. Now, I have not flown the Zebo yet. I will definitely take out the Zebo at some point because I do want to try it. I know that's Flight Deck the Sim's favorite. And I'm sure he has good reason that it is his favorite, so I would like to fly the Zebo here pretty soon, too. Gus says, don't fly the Airbus until I'm on OE. I know, man. I know. Black Square, yep. Hot Start Challenger, yep. Do you feel like any developer has matched Phoenix fidelity? No, Aston, I don't. I think Phoenix is still in a league of its own. I know you mentioned FS Labs in your comment. The last time I tried FS Labs was when they recently had released their Neo aircraft. Or was it? No, we did the CEO comparison. And there were some basic things in that version of the FS Labs 320 that I tested that were not correct. And it was very obvious when you do a live stream, and I don't do video edits and cut out the parts that are, and like we just did the same flight in two different airplanes, the same flight profile. The FS Labs fell short in several categories. However, that was a long time ago, so I'm not saying that there might have been some good updates. I'm sure there have been, but I've kind of hangered the FS Labs because I've had the Phoenix. Now, when FS Labs drops their Neos, absolutely right. We're going to check them out, and we'll do some more. We'll do a comparison with FS Labs and Phoenix again. I know FS Labs is a very capable development team to make a high fidelity airplane. They were the leader in especially the Airbus space. P3D, FSX. I mean, they were neck and neck with PMDG in my opinion, especially end of FSX going into P3D. The FS Labs 320 series was phenomenal. Very, very intricately detailed. So I still think that the Phoenix is, when you look at the whole package, so you got to look at the whole package, right? How much does the Phoenix cost? What do you get? How much does the FS Labs cost? And what do you get with it? I still think dollar for dollar, you get more with the Phoenix. I also think the Phoenix just physically, or not physically, but texturally, it looks better texturally. I think it's probably the best textured airplane that we have available to us. I don't know of an airplane that looks more realistic than the Phoenix does. Captain Sim is pretty close to Phoenix, right? No, don't get me started. Captain Sim back in the day, though, man, used to be good. Level Up uses Zevo systems. Essentially, Level Up is just a sound and graphics with some minor tweaks to the Zevo. All right, Mitchell Taylor. I mean, so far, so good. I mean, I've enjoyed the takeoff. I've enjoyed what we've done here. We'll mess with the HUD as soon as we get close here to our TOD. We're going to try to do the HGS HUD mode and A3 mode all the way down. We'll see if it's simulated. We'll see what it's got. But I got to tell you, I know Gus believes me on this, like I've always said, sounds can really bring a lot more to an add-on than one may think. And we've been flying nothing but 7.3s pretty much on this channel for the last month. So in my opinion, the sound that I heard today for startup, the ambiance of announcements and stuff going on in the background, my personal opinion and what I personally like, I think this is the number one right now in terms of the sound environment, because it adds a feeling of more than just an airplane. It feels like you've got more going on. If I hear the flight attendants making announcements in the back, briefly, you know, it's tied to the seatbelt sign and all that. I personally enjoy that. Now, I know there are some people that do not care about that. They do not enjoy that. They just want the sounds of what it sounds like when you're sitting up in the cockpit, period. No fluff. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just difference of opinion. You know, I said this going back to the fly-by-wire days. The fly-by-wire A320, I even said that I preferred that style sound pack to the Phoenix. Not that it wasn't more realistic or less realistic in terms of engine sounds, but just that When 2020 was out, we were flying the fly-by-wire and right next to the Phoenix 320. The audio of having the flight attendants and stuff and the doors working, I personally enjoyed that experience. So this adds soul, as John Seifert said. I think the way that this sound pack is, it adds soul to the airplane, and I enjoy that. And man, the startup sounds were pretty dang good. Pretty dang good. CWS is the perfect mode for V1? Yeah, exactly, Victor Hugo, exactly. I'm really enjoying the PMDG, but it lacks some life. Semi Taylor, yeah, I can see that, you know, because you don't have any of the sounds other than the aircraft, right? So I totally get it, man. I totally get it. Look, I can hear babies and stuff. Hold on. Very faintly, I can hear stuff going on. It's like I enjoy that. Again, some people may not enjoy that. I personally do. How are we looking? 42 miles TOD. We probably need to start thinking about, yeah, we're only 158 miles out. The wing back nav light lighting the tail. Oh yeah, look at that. So the position light, look at this. The position light here on the winglet illuminating the tail. That's pretty hot, Gus. Gosh, that beacon flash. The beacon flash is goated. Was it shift 1? We'll try to zoom in on it. Sound gets weird. Beautiful. All right. It would be more beautiful if I knew how to check weather for Syracuse in this thing. Rochester. That's close enough to Syracuse, isn't it? Where's Syracuse in relation to Rochester? Winds are crazy. Maybe we should do a second leg to LaGuardia. The winds are nuts tonight. 270 at 20, gust 30. Visibility 8 miles, snow. Oh my goodness. 270, gust 20. Chat, we got some work to do. I think Syracuse is further up. Oh, look. I can't zoom it out far enough, but I need to get a, I'll get Syracuse live weather. What I'm also going to do here, we're going to put up the programming cam. Let's go ahead and start dialing this in. So we're going to be 1099, final approach course 280. I want to get set up well ahead of the game because we don't have a star to come down, so we're going to be bombing down pretty much right into the approach. So 280 aside is set. Flaps 30, 148 on the VAP, 1099. We'll run our real world landing data as well. 1099, active 1, 1099, active 2. Alright, final approach course 280, and then let's look at our HUD modes here. Oh, we don't have A3 mode. Dang it. Alright, elevation is, what did we say, 4 something? 413. Alright, elevation, landing length in, I believe that's in feet because it's 10498. So runway 28 is actually only 9,013 feet. Glide slope on the ILS Cat 2 is 3 degrees down. So we'll be primary IMC. That actually, it does say A3 right there, right? IMC, that's standby mode. A3 arm. A3 is armed. Okay, cool. A3 mode is armed. Good. Alright, you prefer IMC over the Pry? Okay. Let me get my real-world weather update and see what it says. Right now, if I go to weather, Rochester on my real-world iPad, or excuse me, Syracuse, special, 270 at 1.6, gust 2.9, half mile. Oh my gosh. Snow, blowing snow, freezing fog, visibility 7, or vertical visibility 7, -6, -7, 2.9 or 6.4, peak winds 250 at 30. That was at 23:15. So that was 30 minutes ago. All right, so we got to do some work here. Let me run the landing data. I'm pretty sure we're going to be auto 3. But let me run my real-world landing data app. Captain Chemtrails has joined the channel as private pilot. My man, appreciate you, dude. Thank you for supporting the channel. Hope you're having a wonderful holiday season, man. Thanks for stopping by and being a member supporting the V1 Nation, man. Still looking for the Captain Chemtrails 757 professional series when that drops from Bluebird. Alright, 10,000 is set. We're on the VNAV path. We're already starting to come down. I gotta speed it up here. Alright, landing app. We're in a 737NG, not a MAX. We're gonna do flaps 30. 5G penalty, sure. Current landing weight is going to be 142.2, so we'll call it 143. Pressure altitude is going to be 400. Call it sea level. We'll round up to 1,000. Oh no, we can set 400. Okay, there we go. Cool. Temp is what I say, -6. Calculate the winds. Wind direction, I think I said, I should gotta go back. 270 at 16, gust 2.9. Runway heading is 280. So we've got a 16 knot headwind. Yeah, no, set tail headwind. Okay, cool. Braking action. We're going to run that good to medium. RCAM is 15C or colder. No. Dry snow, wet. We're going to do that. It's going to be RCAM 3. Required landing distance with additive 83.51. So 83.51. We're going to go auto brakes max. Why are we having such a hard time coming down here? Auto brakes max. We'll go ahead and turn the dome light off. Let's take a look at the legs page. So we're going direct to Studa right now, which I don't want to do. So I want to put in the airport, SYR, direct, execute. So we're going to go direct to the field now, just to get us there, and then we're going to vector ourselves. There we go, Studa is the fix, perfect. Alright, so that's good, I like that. We're going direct to Syracuse, we get a little bit closer. What I can also do is I'm going to put in the airport KSYR, and I'm going to put a 30-mile radius around it, and then I'm going to make a beam. It'll let me copy that. Let's do, oh my gosh, KSYR 30. Execute. Alright. So I put in a waypoint at 30 miles, and I want to cross that at 250 at 10,000 feet. So what you do when you go into airports with no arrivals, sometimes we kind of make our own waypoint, give us a heads up. So that'll give us a VNAV path to get us down within a respectable window here so we could be set up for the approach. That puts us about 7,000 feet high, which is no bueno. So, descent page, we'll do a target speed of, let's just call it 310. That'll help us come down. Down we go. Hang on to your butts. We'll go ahead and get the seatbelt sign on. And we could actually do this. Key 6, my man, thank you for the $5 super chat. Not too bad for an iPad 737 driver. Real fake about it. Key 6, my man, thank you so much for the support. The $5 super chat, man. Very kind of you. Appreciate that. Yeah, I'm working on the iPad driver, man. iPad 7.3 driver. Now, we're going to be a little bit hot here at our TOD, but that's all right. All right, briefing is complete. HUD, do I need to do auto brightness on this? Man, we'll do auto brightness. So we're A3 arm. IMC A3. Hold on. I don't know if I can do IMC on that. Alright. Speed brakes are out, down we go. We need Rochester, CTAF. Or, why do I keep saying Rochester? Syracuse. 120.3. Yeah, brightness on the HUD. If not, press the button. I'll try it again. Yeah, I gotta do manual brightness. There we go. Alright, HUD is set. Oh, we never set our actual barrel. Oh, we're gonna do a 50-foot alert height. Because we're gonna do this practice Cat 2 hand flowing. So we're gonna go rad out, radio, and we'll make sure it's 50. Charted something else. It's actually charted 100. Oh my gosh.
Traffic reliable.
Oh my gosh.
412 is clear runway 28. RNF to Syracuse VOR. Final call, Syracuse.
Alright. Radio is set 100. James Johnson, what's up, my man? Altimeter in Syracuse. I don't have it. 2965. Goodness. Niner 65. Alright, seatbelt sign is on. Flight time space prep for landing. Alright, descent checklist, please. Altimeters 2965 set. Approach preparation complete. Pressurization check. Terrain display selected. Lights set. Set checks complete. Drove past Syracuse today and it was juicy. Nice. Alright, since we're going to be straight up vector, I'm going to level change us 270 to 10,000 feet. Look at the landing cam up here. Are we actually in IMC yet? I can't. Oh man, it is bumpy. Let's go ahead and throw the engine and IS on. Syracuse traffic, United 223, 15.5, descending 10,000 feet, about 30 miles to the southwest of Syracuse Airport. We're going to set up for a left downwind for the ILS, runway 28, Syracuse. United 223, fly heading 110, heading select, legs page, Stoda inbound, final ref 280, execute that. Got our line off of, oh, we drew it the wrong way. Inbound, that's fine. It is bumpy though. Go ahead and descend and maintain. Let's take it down to 7,000. Syracuse ground is on 21.7. Where are we parking? No idea. Tell you what, let's go gate 2. What's the easy one to remember? Gate number 10. Gate number 10. Assume crash positions. Yeah, this turbulence in 24 would be nice. The screens look a little washed out to me, but we're on dim. Gotta turn these down. Who's got the upper DU? Is the FO? Where the hell is this DU brightness now? Just heading for the wind, make it 100. Get ready to go through 10,000 feet. Man, we talk about flying a black hole. We picked the wrong airport to fly into Syracuse. Oh my goodness. Upper DU brightness. I need just a little panel light to see what the panel is. At least there's not much terrain, that's true. Alright, let's go ahead and hustle down. Speed brake is coming out. Let's adjust heading, make it 090. Send and maintain 3,000. Tubaloo, what's up, buddy? What's the verdict so far? So far, pretty good, man. Good sounds, definitely good sounds. Flight model, we're about to test here again. Feels a little sluggish to me, but so far, so good, man. I'm enjoying it. Steve, what's up, man? Have we talked about how the fantasy league is rigged? Yes. Use the left mouse button on the arrows What is the left mouse button on the arrows? Oh, I see. Okay. Like you can do them individually, tick marks. I got you. Syracuse traffic, United 223 at a 6.8, 73,000 feet. We're on a basically a Beamley field now on a left out and setting up for the ILS 28. Probably take it off of tile. Tile's at 2100, so we might actually go out to Studa. It's a bumpy night. Engine anti-ice is on. Hold it. Yeah, I think I got the initial bump. Arrival leg. I'm sure the Syracuse has lights are just buried on the lake effect. I know. I kind of wish I could see the weather. Put the weather radar back on there just in case. Let's go ahead and start dialing it back. Captain Ron Tay, go to the hardware section, pin messages. Nope, this is default camera, G-loaded camera. And I have it set to 25% of that first quarter. X-plane defaults it all the way up, it's way too much. In my opinion, you gotta knock it down about 25%. We're going to do this. We don't want the procedure. We're going to go tile, inbound course, 280, execute. Help us clean up here a little bit. There's 210. United 223, turn left heading 060 vectors. ILS 28.
1,000 to go.
Check. I keep thinking about turning on replay, but I guess it's included. It's just a bummer that the replay forces the nighttime. You can hear the kids in the background. Engines are wobbling. This jiggle makes your stream look like I'm watching a head-mounted GoPro. Yeah, it does look pretty good, doesn't it? United 223. Turn left heading 040. 180, we're going to select flaps 5. Let's see, inside of tile was, Studa was at 2700. Tile's at 2100.
Traffic 93462, turning left base, runway 28 out of
Ah, no VSD?
10 miles out.
No VSD. United 223, turn left. Turn left, fly heading 310, maintain 2,200 until established. Clear ILS from a 28 approach. 310, 220, or 310, 2200 until established, cleared ILS. 28 approach for United 223. Syracuse traffic, United 223, turning final runway 28, just outside the tile, about 8 miles. We at that vector, chat. My goodness. ATC hiring. Alright, we're cleared for the approach. Slope, glide slope, arm. Nice big wind shift here. Descent checklist, or before landing checklist to the line. We're getting in a wind shear? What's going on here? Let's see. Before landing checklist to the line. Approach brief complete. Seatbelts on. PA's completed. Recall. Checked. Auto brakes as required. HUD set. Radars display set. Cross check before landing checklist to the line. ATC, what are you? But you need to find an ID. Zing. We're below 2,000 already, so I'm going to slow to 160. This is one of those approaches where you're going to get caught. You could get caught in a bad spot, be unstable. We're so low. Let me see what Syracuse actual leader is. 29 or 64. It's going to be a very quick gear down, flaps 15, flaps 30, speed brake arm landing checklist. We're looking at 147, 30, 147, so that's 152. Got traffic off our right there at 500 feet. Yeah, VSD, I should have it there, right? But I don't, yeah, it doesn't seem to work. Unless it's an option. I did see lights out there initially, yeah. Loke. Secret channel, that's normal. This page up, we go back to home, config, or yes off on, no off on after we disconnect, I think. Spatial disorientation is real. Chart light on? Don't do nothing. Luke texting while flying. I'm not texting. I had to get my, I have a picture of his hardware settings that I need. Syracuse traffic in at 223. We're at 2.5 from Zimby inbound, final for 28 in Syracuse. 36 knots on the nose, man. We're down to 127 knot ground speed. Glide slope. Throwing altitude set. 3,000. Gear down. So 152. Flaps 15.
Traffic 93462, we were 7 miles out.
On, flaps 30, below the line. brakes, armed, green light, gear down and green, flaps 30, green light, or landing checklist complete.
Thousand feet stabilized. Mr. Approach altitude, sir.
Remember, we are going to be offset for this. I didn't brief it, but take it down to 50 feet, or no, 100 feet. HUD appears to be a little. Oh, there's a HUD off? I can't tell. I'm starting to see it. There we go. No A3. Well, that's no good. Why is our speed so low? Control. I've got the runway.
Airspeed low. 500. Airspeed low.
Toga. What the hell's going on here?
Flight slow. 400. Flight slow.
Something. We got a conflicting binding.
Airspeed low.
Go around.
Airspeed low.
Times 15.
Airspeed low. Airspeed low.
What is going on?
Airspeed low. Airspeed low. Airspeed low.
Cooked. Cook. Dude, I don't know what's going on. It's like way out of trim. We literally just crashed. Great success. What the heck? How? We were completely set up. No. No, the speed brake was not the speed brake. Oh, you mean that ticking sound? No, dude, there's no ice. It doesn't simulate icing. Can I replay that? Can I replay that? Let me replay that. Anti-ice was on, so it wasn't that. Will it show me my trim? Look at the stab trim at 10 units. See, it's not, it's something with the Brunner. It's something with the Brunner, though. Because see my stab trim so far back? So that's what was causing... Because that's why I have to do this. I have to set my Brunner up to be... What does this say? No, off, on. Virtual yoke off. Or something, because it won't. Let's see. Let me play that. I want to just continue. What do I do here? Do I just continue? I don't want to start a new flight. I want to watch the replay.
1000 feet stabilized. Mr. Approach altitude, sir.
Your aircraft was carrying ice at the time of impact? No. No. But see, there's no way the stab trim should be all the way back.
500.
The clicking is the spoiler. Can I turn the dome light on in here? On replay? No. Flat 15 is definitely called the stall roll. That is eerily holy. 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 unrealistic rollover. That is frightening. You talk about the Buffalo accident. That's, I mean, maybe. I mean, so yeah, the wing anti-ice wasn't on. But, I mean, really? You're telling me you're going to simulate icing without actually having visible icing? That's got to be a lot of ice to bring down a 7.3. That is, watch this. Well, I'm freaking pissed. That was going to be a sweet approach. That is frightening. That is straight out of NTSB animation. So we went flaps 15, and that's when we really got cooked. Yeah, the ice might be the cause of it. I don't think it was the ice that caused the crash. I think we were carrying some ice, but I think what would happen is my stab is trimmed full nose up, and then my yoke is just, it's like, remember I said it doesn't play nice with the Bruner and I have to reconfigure? But that is, that's textbook. My freaking yoke is going off. You feel that? That is a textbook Colgan crash animation right there. That's exactly what happened to the Colgan. Trim nose up because of the ice. I mean, yes, but dude, you know how much ice required? It actually explodes? What? Wait a second. Wait a second. Where's the thumbnail? Screenshot. Fireworks. I don't know what to say. I don't know if I don't know what to say, guys. I don't know if I'm impressed or disappointed or depressed. I don't know if I'm impressed or depressed. I don't believe we crashed because of the ice. I believe we crashed because of the yoke. But I believe it stalled. Yeah, I mean, it did stall, but I believe we stalled it because we were full nose up, stab trim, and my yoke was just not. Did you see my yoke jittering around in the animation? That's pretty crazy, though. That is pretty crazy. Can I not play it from here? There's no way to launch it from here? Like, can I just... because when I toggle it, we go live, right? Nah, see. Let me go... hold on. I want to go daytime. I do have autosave enabled, I think. Let me see. Let's see. How do I do autosave? Well, the N1 being higher than normal would have... that would do with the trim being full nose up, dude. Because you get out of trim, the autopilot is forcing the nose down. It's just, it's going to cause all kinds of issues. Trust me, dude. Trust me. Where are we? Syracuse? Go back to the flight. It's cooked, though. It's not even on. We got no... Our EFB is cooked. Even our EFB is cooked. I want to start there, but I want to wind the time back when we load in. This is the blink buffer career mode. I've learned to talk to somebody, you don't mess with icing and X-plane, you just switch them on even in non-visible moisture. I mean, maybe. I don't believe it. I know you guys think it's 100% because of the ice, but I'm telling you, I know what happens with... So, example, in a normal condition, I have to run almost full aft yoke to land the level up, 7.3. Load previous autosave? Yeah. Hold up. We're not done yet. Either way, that stall spin animation, it gives me chills. Oh no, I clicked something. Oh, still loading. I don't know how far my autosaves are. Nope. Vulcan device error. X-plane cannot continue and will now quit. X-plane sucks. Crashed. No, thank you. You can't click when X-plane is loading? I know. Can I still reload it or no? I want to do that approach. Oh, it's a problem with the autosave, Gus? I gotcha. What about, can I start on final? Can't I start on 3 nautical mile approach? Let's do 10 nautical miles. X-plane doesn't show icing, it only simulates it. I mean, okay, but even if it's simulating icing, you know how much icing it would take? Go back and watch the stream. We'll watch it together, and you can hear my trim wheel running the whole time. And it's. I know it's my Bruner fighting what's going on. Let me try it. We'll try it one more time. Let me see if we can get an approach. I want the autosave, though, so we can see the ice. You need a plug-in to show it. You need a plug-in? You've seen icing in X-plane? I've never seen icing in X-plane 12. Really? Marcella Fabiano, do you have a Bruner yoke? If you had a Bruner yoke, you would understand what I'm saying. I know what you're saying, but I'm telling you, it's not, because I have the same problem in 110-degree heat approach into Phoenix. Like, it will try to run, it'll try to capture the glide slope, and what it tries to do is it tries to force the Bruner forward at the same time it starts running the trim the opposite direction. We're not going to have any power, right? Let me just click this real quick. Let me go auto-save this. If this doesn't work, I'll have to do with engine running. Let's see if this goes to the auto-save. $2,300 pounds of ice. Yeah, pretty much. I don't think it's going to work. I think it's going to crash. Oh. Yeah, Dale, I know. It was very creepy the whole time, for sure. I really wanted to try to land the thing. I haven't yet done it. Wait a second. Where are we at? Hold up. Are we live? See, my Bruner's not connected. I got to connect the Bruner. I got no juice. All right, hold on. I got to get this out of the way. I need to see what's going on here. Let me run the time back. Do you guys see 2,700 pounds of ice out there? I don't. We gotta get. Let's go up. Let's go around.
Gear up.
See, the autopilot won't connect. because I have to do the special hardware trick. This is why the level up is a pain for the Bruner. See, it won't connect. I've got no yoke. I don't want to move this. No. Now I gotta go over here, customize hardware, that, and now I should be able to engage it.
1000.
Yes, now I can engage it. Watch the speed. Level change, heading select. 300. Auto throttle's armed. See, look, you see how the yoke is doing this? This is because I'm flying with this yoke movement. If I turn this off, Bruner on, like that, okay, see? It shows clear ice. Well, I'll tell you what, we're going to clean it up here. Let's shoot the approach again. We're going to come up to 250 knots. For testing purposes, we're going to leave the wing and ice off. We need to come around to the right. Altimeter is 2965. Flying Butterpants, thank you for the 5 gifted subs, man. I appreciate you. This is, I need to put Syracuse back in the box here. Departure arrival, Syracuse, ILS. Let's do this again. 28 Studa. Activate, execute. Gross weight is, I don't even know what our gross weight is. Oh, flaps 1 are still out. All right, let's try this again. Okay, what is our, do anybody remember what our gross was? Like 141, 141. 30, yep, well, it makes sense. 147, that's set there in the box, so I've got our gross weight reset. And let's descend and maintain 4,000. Go to your flight and set to track current time, but not sim time. What does that mean? I'm using a... Oh, wait, what? Set to track current time, but not the sim time. Oh, I had it right. So it's real weather, but now we can see. Yeah. BKG says I was cracking up. I heard airspeed low, but I looked up and it said, yeah, we're cooked. I know. Now I'm going to show you the problem that we're going to face here when we get on approach with the Bruner. I'm going to have to hand fly it earlier out. Did this save everything?
1000
No.
to go.
Elevation was for what? I can't click anything. This is really annoying when you're trying to click stuff. Length is 9,000. All right. Send and maintain 3,000. Did it reset my G-loading camera settings? I'm going to turn those down to like 25. Can't click anything.
1000 to go.
All right. Try this again. I'm going to take all of our 1099, 280, 280. We need to reset 1099, 1099.
2,500.
We're going to take it off tile. 280. Execute. Slow to 180. Now we turn to the weather. Keep the use real weather. The other box. No, I don't know. It's fine. It's exactly what it was before. Alright. Flaps 5. So you're telling me there's 2,300 pounds of clear ice out there? See the thrust coming up? No, I don't have anti-ice on. I want to try it without the anti-ice. Because I got to show you what type of cluster I have to do to get the ice on the flaps. Where? I don't see any ice on the flaps. I have to show you the cluster that I need to do to fly the approach. We're going to disconnect it early. Bruner on, yoke auto center off, only virtual, yes. Alright. Connect my yoke. Guess this boomer pack killed the sim, probably. He did give me a preset mod. I don't see any ice out there. See, now look, when I move the yoke, you see how it fights me? It doesn't let me do my thing, so I need to do this. There we go. So now I have the yoke, but now I've turned all the way past the localizer. Pause the sim and save. How do I do that? Pause. How do I save? How do I save? Save flight. Test to prove to Fabio it's not ice. Oh, but that disconnected my yoke. I have no yoke. I have no yoke. I have no yoke. You see? I gotta reconnect my yoke. There we go. Now I'm back. Flaps 25. Flaps 30. We're configured way early. Our ground speed's only 113 knots. Wow. Yeah, 81% thrust seems high for sure, but I don't know if that could just be a thrust setting being off. You think it's ice. Let's turn the ice on, the wing anti-ice on. We'll see if there's any changes. this again. Oh, it doesn't have A3 armed. Shoot. Alright, forget the HUD. Now we're way off the localizer. We're still at 75% thrust on a 3-degree slope, so you're telling me that's ice?
Thousand feet stabilized. Mr. Approach altitude set.
Golly. Oh, we never set the minimums. Was it 100 feet?
500. 400.
I mean, we're still surging over to 70% thrust. I really don't see much of a difference there.
300.
Does my HUD have A3 on? Nope.
200.
And windy as hell, though. My goodness. Look at the reflection of the wet runway. That's pretty cool.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Let's disengage the auto throttle. See no spool up there. Now I've got no reverse thrust. There we go. Looks like a skating rink. Holy. Now how can I check if there's ice? We're not gonna
80
stop.
knots.
I'm full on the brakes. I'm full on the brakes. We're not gonna stop. We're not gonna stop. I'm full on the brakes. What is this, an untreated runway? I was on the brakes the whole time after I disengaged. Where do I check the ice? Is there a way to check up here? Well, there was a problem with the auto throttle too. It wouldn't disconnect. Let me see. Let me go data output icing. Hold on. Data output. Icing. Where's icing? Ice secretion 1, 2. There we go. Now that. Now hold on. I want to turn this off and I want to load from the saved. I want to load here. Load flight. We're testing. Auto throttle was armed. If it's really icing, then I mean, props to X-Plane then, because why the hell would that be modeled? You're too used to playing arcade Microsoft 24 with no icing? I mean, oh my gosh. What's happening? What's happening?
Airspeed low.
I don't know what's going on. I saved the replay, but I tried to load it, but it was not correct. I saved it as replay and not a simulation. There's a difference? Oh my gosh. This sim is so ass. You didn't save a situation. Why would you save it as a replay and not a simulation? Oh my. Why is that even an option? Dead Sim 12. Dead Sim 12. So.
Sync rate.
Oh shoot, now we're flying. Hold on. I don't have a yoke connected.
Hold up. Hold up. Flight slow.
Positive rate.
Let me turn. Use real weather, real time. Here, I want to try something. We could have done 15 retakes in the landing, I know. I would just want to fly around in real weather with no engine anti-ice on, or no wing anti-ice. I want to see if we accumulate any. So wing anti-ice is off. It actually is building.
Gear up.
I mean, that's interesting.
Sync rate. Sync rate.
Freaking yoke there. See, the yoke just doesn't play nice with this airplane. That's my biggest gripe. I mean, it is building. But how much is it going to take? Yeah, I don't know how people fly at night in the sim either, man, to be honest with you. I track real time. I can't change it. Yeah, I'm looking at it. But it's not visual, right? I can't engage the autopilot because I'd have to reset everything on the hardware settings. I'm just flying in a circle here.
Bank angle. Bank angle.
It is, but the tuning and level up is very high, so the window is not icing. Well, the window shouldn't ice because we got window heats on, though, right? The highest I saw was like 0.45. I mean, it's cool that icing is simulated. I will say that. I like that it's simulated. I still don't believe that's what brought us down. I firmly don't. I know you guys want to believe that, but when I'm making yoke inputs and they just don't work, it's 99% because of the freaking Bruner not playing nice. Yeah, I'm looking at the wing, left and right wing, but it's not even, it's still 0.68. I want to see if will it build up to a point where we can see it? Turn off the window and the window ices over in 2 minutes. Okay, let me try that. I want to do that. I'm going to do flight configuration. I got to stop that. We'll leave that the same. I want to do that. I want to test that. And now I'm going to make it a little bit brighter. Just like that. Let's turn off the window heats. I've never seen ice in X-Plane 12 visually, ever. So this is new to me. Oh, see, I went into the menu. I have no yoke. I got to reconnect the yoke. Yep, real weather's loaded. I'll straight up trade you for my Honeycomb Alpha. Thank you, AJ, for the $3 super chat. Not so fast, my man. Not so fast.
2,500.
Appreciate you, that man. All right, let's see. So windows are 0. Maybe it doesn't build on this, or does it simulate because it's hot already? Wait, is it building? I can't tell if it's building or if there's just... Oh, we're just going to try to descend down below the clouds here. We're not even... I don't even know where the airport is. Actually, know what we can do. Can't we slew us around? Flaps 40, flaps 30. Alright, there's 0.4 on the frame, on airframe icing, which is what we had. Actually, we're pretty much set up for another ILS practice approach here. When the wings get at 1.0, it kills the lift completely. Really? I mean, look, I'm not denying that icing doesn't exist. It doesn't work in real world. I've never experienced icing in X-Plane 12. It's actually pretty cool if this is what's going on here. That actually does... It actually kind of does look like ice on the window there. Unless we just flew that entire approach in the ice and... But see, look, the wings are still... Yeah, there's ice on the window. Look at the approach lights. It's glazed. I have never seen that. That's pretty cool. That is actually pretty cool. And now it's going to fade off. I just want to see if we can maintain a glide slope here. Or somewhat of an approach, which we can. See, now let me run the trim to 10. I'm going to do this for Fabio. So we crashed. The trim was at 10 units. Look at that. There's 10 units of trim. Look. There's no way to recover. You see that? That's because the trim is at 10. There's no way to recover from that. So I'm not denying that ice doesn't work.
Passenger stabilized. Mr. Approach altitude set.
See, we can still recover.
Light slow. Light slow. Light slow.
We're gonna make it work. Let's see if we can stop this time.
Light slow.
We're gonna pull a CRJ. And I gotta go. Sorry, I can leave at 7 o'clock. I didn't realize that.
200.
Sink rate. Sink rate.
50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
See, look, full aft. That's still... Yeah, reverse thrust helps.
80 knots.
Manual brakes. I mean, I still blame the Bruno. I don't think we crashed because of icing. We could definitely maintain approach. It was because our trim ran to 10. And then when we landed, my auto throttle like was stuck at 40-something%. My auto thrust, there's no way we should have overran. But you still have to go full aft to flare the thing. which maybe that had something to do because we had ice there. Maybe. But, damn, what a way to end that stream. Freaking stall spin. Not how I wanted it to go out. We were doing so well. I mean, that looks so cool. Smasher. But yeah, there's no way. At 10 units of stab trim, dude. That's opposite of MCAS. We're cooked on that. Well, shoot. I mean, now that I know that that's simulated, I kind of want to fly this tomorrow in another snowstorm. Is there more snow tomorrow somewhere? We might have to do it because had my attention. Now I'm actually interested. Now I'm actually interested. Well, it's kind of a bummer. We got to end it on that note. But, I still had fun. I still think this is a pretty cool airplane. I don't, like I said, I feel like it's still too dampened. The controls are relatively sluggish. I'm going to work on the freaking Bruner because I need to figure out why I have to disconnect, reconnect, disconnect, reconnect. There's got to be something in the profile that I can tweak to get it to work, at least stable. Because it doesn't happen with the Felis or the MD-11. I have no issues. It's only this airplane. So I'm going to work on that perhaps tomorrow at some point. Tomorrow, New Year's Eve, it is. But either way, I had fun, man. I think this was fun. I'm actually impressed at the freaking icing simulation. Now that I know it works and it's visual, I've never seen ice in X-Plane 12 before. The real world weather seems to be pretty dang good as well. The approach that we flew, that visibility was not good until we got way down there, and then of course the stall spin, which was 100% realistic, looked like it was straight out of an NTSB animation. It's got promises. We got to do more flying on this on the level up though to test a couple more things. Overall, I'm impressed. I do enjoy it. I still think this is a sunset to sunrise sim, unless you spend a lot of time doing orthos. But adverse weather, yeah, we're going to do this again. We're going to definitely do this one again. So thank you all for tuning in for the X-Plane 12 live. Again, bummer we ended on that salty note there, freaking stall spin. But now we know we got to actually pay attention to that. So that's pretty cool. So Gus, thank you for the boomer pack. Thank you for getting me set up with all that stuff. I think it actually ran pretty dang good. Sorry for those that were in the Conga line there. We didn't get to finish it off together, but we still got to. I enjoyed seeing the Cactus 7.5 next to us and all that. Let me get rid of this data ref here. But that's going to end it for me tonight. Make sure you hit the like button if you want to see more X-Plane 12 content. Freaking level up 7.3 and X-Plane 12. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I actually think I like it. You guys are awesome. Enjoy the rest of your night. I'll catch you later. Stay safe. Stay out there. I'm V1. Soup!